Hello, and welcome to me in the exact same outfit I left you on yesterday. But you know, that's COVID life. That's being home all the time life. I'm Liselle Sambury. I'm an author with my debut coming out in June. And what else? This is Camp NaNo week 3. So, oh my god, week 3. As I said it, I realized it and I was like, oh, yeah, it is week 3 already somehow. Today I have not written yet. I'm going to write after this. I don't think I'm going to do any sprints or anything. I think I'm just going to like sit down and like bang it out just because it's already like 2 p.m. I got busy doing so many other things today, so like I've decided to like test out virtual Zumba classes. The one I did today was awful. It was completely awful. I had to just stop. That instructor just like seemed like they had no idea what they were doing. It's been very luck of the draw. But I have 2 more scheduled this week that are hopefully better. So that was that. I did that in the morning. And then I had to take my giveaway packages to the post office. There's a post office like way closer to where I live, and of course me not being smart and not knowing anything forgot about that post office, and I like signed up for a PO box at one that's like way farther that I like basically need a car to get to. But anyway, I took those packages to the closer one and got those mailed off, and then I came back and I edited the vlog that you'll have seen last week. I can't think of timing. Anyway, so that's what's been going on. And yeah, so I'm just starting off the new week. At some point this week, I will likely get my edit letter for the sequel to Blood Like Magic, and I'll be doing both those projects, but for now I'm only doing one at a time, which is great. Past Liselle, who overworked, would have been like, let's rush to finish it the whole thing like as soon as possible. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to take it easy and do both at the same time. But those are my plans for, this week. Just trucking along. This week will be exciting because I'll hit the halfway point at some point during this week. And I'll have 25,000 words, and then I'll just be that much close to having like a completed book, and that'll be very exciting. And otherwise, I don't have anything else really going on this week. As far as I know, like my calendar is like completely empty for this week, so lots of time to get the words down.
Left in the cold, once moved too slow. Watch life unfold, withered and old.
My hair is so messy. I'm sorry. I am having a moment. So I've been classifying this book from the start as an adult horror / thriller. And I've talked about this before. I keep like the doubt that I keep having about this book in the back of my mind is I keep getting overly obsessed with the twist thing and like having twists and having good twists, and is the twist enough and blah blah blah. And so I finally like mentally sat myself down and I said, Liselle, what is the point of this book? What are you trying to do with this book? And I said to myself, because I'm having a conversation with myself at this point, so I said, oh, well, I want to like talk about the nuances of toxic workplace culture as a, you know, BIPOC person or BIPOC or BIPOC, however you want to say it, person, and how that can be insidious and exhausting and tiring, and how that can affect so many different facets of your life, and you know how consuming workplace culture in a city like Toronto can be. And I want to also have put that through the lens of the dread and the horror of a horror medium, of, you know, encountering a certain external terror, and kind of feeling a way about that, and how that's interacting, and like putting that together in a book and expressing that to people. And then myself parroted back to me, and why does any of that require twists? And then my brain went, oh, because it's slash thriller. And then I said, well, why is it slash thriller? And mental Liselle went, cause that's more commercial, question mark. And then my brain was like, and so I have just had this moment, and I'm like, I just dropping the thriller. It's not an adult horror thriller, it's just an adult horror. Trying to mesh it into a thriller has like put pressure on me to try and, I'm looking over there because it's happening right before a sprint, but it's put this pressure on me to force in these thriller elements that I know will be should be in there in order to be appealing to fans of the thriller genre. And I'm just like, why am I doing that? Because it's making me try and artificially create something that doesn't actually exist naturally in this book. Why would I do that? Why would I not just make a horror, just like a full straight horror like I had planned, and leave it at that? Because a horror fan isn't going to be like, man, where are the twists? Because that's not the point of that genre, right? It's about the dread and the fear and the existential crises and things like that. And that's what I have in this book. And that's what through edits I know I can put in this book. Through edits, I don't know how I'm gonna, like, how can I manufacture a twist that didn't exist? And I am, and I said this before, I am overly obsessed about twists in my books, and all of my books do have a bunch of twists, but thinking about it, all those twists that have been in those books have come about very organically, and they've, you know, they've made sense for the story. And not only in this case do I not have any ideas, I just like, I don't even know where I would shoehorn one in. It just wouldn't make sense. And I feel like the strength of this book, and that I've been saying is the strength of this book from the beginning, is going to be the dread and like those existential sorts of feelings. And so why am I trying to add something? Because that's commercial. Because why? So I've had that moment with myself. I had a conversation with my brain. This is what I'm like. This is, I guess, what happens when you're a person with like internal monologue. And so I've realized this book is not an adult horror / thriller. It's an adult horror, period. And just leave it at that. And that, honestly, like the second I thought of that, I just like had this weight off my shoulders, and I felt so alleviated because I was like, cool, I'm not trying to now cater to what people want from thrillers that I'm really not that familiar with, and I'm sticking with the horror that I had planned to deliver and that I feel confident about delivering. So that's what I'm gonna go with, and that's how things are gonna proceed from now. I don't have any like other writing updates because I haven't written yet today. I'm Becca C. Smith and Hannah McCord and Michael Chen are doing a live stream right now, and I had this brainwave, and so I stopped to do this, but I think we're actually gonna start writing soon, so I'm gonna hop into that. You'll have already seen the word count for the day though, even though I haven't done it yet. You'll see what I have eventually done. So yeah, checking in early because I had that brainwave and I was like, now things are gonna be different. I was hanging out with Bobo. I have pushed back my hair. Anyway, you're gonna get 2 updates today. Look at that. Because I haven't written anything yet today. Kevin and Laura are doing their live stream in the evening, so I'll update you then after I've done the writing on my like Camp NaNo progress stuff. This is like all blood like magic stuff. So today I got to share my Kirkus star. I got a starred review from Kirkus, which is really, really exciting for blood like magic. I'll like... graphic or something. But yeah, I was really, really excited about that, so that's great. And Blood Like Magic related, which is my debut novel, if you didn't know that at this point in the video. So I've been working on the sequel. I sent my editor the sequel March 1st, so that was like the second draft of the sequel, because I did the first draft, I sent it to beta readers and my agent, and then I did all of their edits in one, and then I sent that to my editor, and she loved it, which makes me really, really happy, because I'm like, yay, I did it. She really loved it, which was great. And so I got her edit letter yesterday, and I didn't read it because I'm a soft baby. And so I read the praise in the email, and I replied to be like, yep, I'll let you know if that deadline works for me after I've had time to like go through the edit letter and sit on my thoughts and stuff. And I told her I'd get back to her before the end of the week. So I did that. And then, so today I actually read the edit letter. I actually forgot about it until I was sitting and like watching YouTube videos. And I was like, I feel like I was supposed to do something today. And the something I was supposed to do was to read my edit letter. So I read it. It's great. I think she's brought up, as usual, my editor, Sarah McCabe, is a fantastic editor. As usual, she's brought up things that I think are really, really good to bring up and to talk about. And I've been like, yep. So now, my plan is to tomorrow morning, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically take her edit letter and I'm going to write down like my ideas for solutions of what I could do to address everything. Because a lot of times the edit letter is like questions about stuff. And so I'll do that, and then I'll look at that and decide based on like the solutions that I think are possible there, if that timeline will work for me. And then I can email her back and let her know. I think it will, because a lot of it is like adding details to clarify things and like clearing up some little plot hole things and strengthening character relationship stuff. And none of that, I think so far, will require that I like change things around or pull out things. It's all, I think, just going to be adding stuff in. And so I just got to figure out like how much I need to add. Based on what I've read, I don't see myself needing to add like a bunch of chapters. It'll basically be like expanding on what I already have and maybe like adding like 1, maybe 2 chapters, if even. It's mostly just going to be fixing up a bunch of the scenes that I have and weaving in things more. So yeah, that's the Blood Like Magic update, and I will catch you after I've done some writing to give you my Camp NaNo update.
Left in the cold, once moved too slow. life too slow. Watch life unfold.
Hello. I totally forgot that there's no Thirsty Thursday today. So it got to like, we were chatting and Lainey was like, too bad there's no Thirsty Thursday today. And I was like, oh right, forgot about that. So I was like, okay, I guess I gotta motivate myself. And so I procrastinated until like, I want to say like 8:30. But I got down to writing. I did it. I set up a 15-minute sprint for myself. And then I sprinted. And then I took a break to watch like a few YouTube videos. And then what did I do? Yeah, I took that break to watch the YouTube videos. And then I just came back and just finished off. But then I had to, now all my little in-between social media chapters are done. So all I have left is like the actual writing chapters. So before I would like write a chapter and then I'd work on a little social media bit to finish off the word count, because my word count is like roughly, now at this point it's roughly 1,600 a day. But the chapters need to only be 1,500 words. So then I'm like finishing a chapter, but then I have to go into the next chapter to write a little bit. So because I'd done that, I started to get into the flow of the next chapter and I really wanted to kind of finish off the scene. So I ended up writing like 2,000 words in the end for the day. So that's good considering I was procrastinating and didn't actually want to do it. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm really happy with that. I think things are going well. I do feel much better for sure now that I've designated this as like firmly a horror and not that horror thriller thing. I do feel a lot more freedom. And interestingly enough, in feeling more freedom, I have thought of some like, I have some more like twist stuff working in my brain that I might put in later on. But I do feel more comfortable with this label altogether. So yeah, we're officially past the halfway point. I'm at 26,547 words. So yeah, and it's the 15th. So we're right on time. I'm a little bit off schedule because once I finish this chapter, then I'll be at the midpoint. So I've got a few more words that I need right before the midpoint. I should really be at like 25,000 at the midpoint because I have a 15,000 goal. So I'll probably be closer to like 27,000 at the midpoint, which I'm still fine with. That's still not too bad. And my finales, I tend to have them be shorter. So chances are that I'll end up having those chapters be shorter naturally, in which case, like, you know, it'll all work out. But I think the pacing is still quite good. I think this length of chapters is good because it's still like snappy and fast paced. So yeah, that's how it's going. Things are going good. And what day is today? Thursday? I will update you later on. So today I'm going through my closet. In the past year, my body has changed a lot. And so most of, I would say, now that I've like gone through some stuff, most of the clothes I have don't fit anymore. And I was keeping them because like a lot of those clothes I really love, and they're like dresses and stuff that I've loved a lot, and I like, that were expensive in some cases. And I was kind of holding on to them, but it was making it really sad for me because then I would go into the closet to pick out something to wear and like half the stuff I would pick out wouldn't fit, and then I would feel bad, and it was just like becoming a whole thing. So I decided what I'm doing, and what I have been doing and I'm doing now, is that I am going through all of my clothes, and anything that doesn't fit or like fits in a way that I don't find flattering and that I don't enjoy, I'm putting in these bins, these like storage tote bin things, and we'll put them in storage. And then, you know, I'm kind of thinking like a year from now, maybe I'll have recovered enough that I won't feel so sad about like having to donate them or give them away because they don't fit anymore. Maybe I'll have a bunch of new clothes that I love, and so it won't be as like of a crushing sadness thing because I can't like bring myself to put them away now. And I used to not be able to bring that because I was like, oh, maybe like I'll like do this or that. But I've like had a bad relationship with weight cycling my whole entire life, and I basically decided I'm not gonna do that stuff anymore. And so I'm pretty sure I'm still going to end up settling into a weight that is going to be larger than I have been before. And so probably those things are not going to miraculously fit. I just need to create time distance between me wearing them. And so yeah, that's why I'm just like, I'm just gonna go through some things I have had to try on just because I was like, I don't know if this fits or not. So I'm almost done. I've done all the hanging stuff, and now I have to do all the stuff in my drawers. The positive of this, on top of like being able to know that I can reach in my closet and know that everything in my closet fits me, is that, and now I have so much closet space because my closet was packed all the way full, and now it's like half empty. So that's positive, and I think once I empty out my drawers, I'll have even less, really. And so yeah, I'll have lots of space for new things. Of the third week of Camp Nano. This time is just like rushing by. But yeah, I'm working on 2 projects now. My adult horror, that's my Camp Nano project, 6 Days and 5 Nights, and then my Blood Like Magic sequel, which I've just gotten my edits for. So first update of the 6 Days and 5 Nights, which is now adult horror period. I've just passed the 30,000 mark. I did a live stream yesterday with Lainey at Ginger Reads Lainey, and that was really good, and that was really productive for me, so that was awesome. And I'm feeling really good. I think there are some things that I'm just dissatisfied with, and they're just like things that you're dissatisfied with in your first draft. Like, I know it's not pretty, I know my writing isn't like super fluid, it's not to the quality that I usually try to meet with my writing, and what I'm like getting a little bit in that's annoying me is I'm like, oh, this isn't like as deep as I want it to be. But that's fine because all of that is for revising. I'm just trying to get the story out properly. And there are some things in it that I'm proud of, like those little social media insert chapters that I've been doing. I'm really proud of those. I think those have been really good, and I think those will be really fun to have in there. So that's something I'm really excited about. And I think the characters are becoming more fleshed out and more themselves as I go on. I'm definitely gonna need to flesh them out a lot more later, but I feel like I'm on the right track and I'm on pace to finish. I feel like I'm gonna win this Camp Nano, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna meet my goals, and that makes me really excited because I'm really excited to like finish an adult project and like have a whole adult project ready. So feeling good about that. Now for the Blood Like Magic sequel, I got my edit letter, I want to say on like Wednesday or something like that. And so I've now broken it down into all the questions my editor had. I answered all the questions, and now I've inserted all of my answers into my chapter by chapter summary. So every time I write a book, I have a chapter by chapter summary, which is just like a list of all the chapters and then a 1-sentence summary of what happens in the chapter so that I know. And so I've taken all of my notes and I've slotted them into whichever chapters are relevant so that I know, okay, in this chapter, this is what I have to do and this is what I have to do, etc. So I have all that plotted out and I've decided on a slow and steady wins the race. So I am combining my read through and my edits so that when I finish these edits, I will not actually be doing another read through because I'm going to be going through very slowly and very meticulously. And so an additional read through is not going to be necessary. So I'm going to be working on 2 chapters per day. So that's the slow and steady wins the race. It should take me like 17 days, but I feel good about it. And this is why. So if you've seen my vlogs over here that I did when I was editing my sequel to send off to my editor, I was like low-key griping because I thought I could finish the edits in a month and I needed a full 2 months to do those edits. But it paid off because doing those really extensive 2 months of edits meant that what my editor had to comment on, she was like, this is really solid. It's just like really a lot of like tweaking and solidifying and expanding on some of the stuff that you have here. And so I only am adding in one new scene, just one new scene. That's it. And everything else I'm just like tweaking and editing and fixing. And so now I don't need as much time because I took the time 2 months ago. No, 2 months ago. I took the time like a month ago for 2 months of work. And so that's why I've combined the read through into the edit because it's just I'm going to be so slow and meticulous with it. So I'm very excited. Starting next week, going to be working on 2 projects at once, like actively. So drafting 6 Days and 5 Nights and then doing all of my sequel edits in combination with this read through thing. So I'm very excited about that. I'm feeling very, very positive about my projects and my writing. So how did your week 3 Camp Nano go? Comment down below about how things went for you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And thank you for hanging out with me and my undrawn eyebrows on this Sunday. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.